just noticed your hair. It is Monday, September 16th, year of our Lord 2019. And Mrs. Vogel maybe wants to get in the picture, no?
No.
We just turned the video on.
Oh.
Pre-algebra. Who is it?
No, I'm going to say that name.
Oh. Mrs. Corey. Oh,
My friend over there now. Yeah. Okay. And this is from Brad.
yes. Okay, it is Monday, September 16th, year of our Lord 2019. This is pre-algebra, and you just got done working on out there in cyberspace. They were doing this to get themselves started today. Number 8 on page 27, as we did the first 5 together the other day. And what did you get for your answer, Isaac Richards? Page 27, number 8, what'd you get? 15? Who else got 15? Anybody else get 15 for your answer to number 8, page 27? What'd you get? What'd you get? 22. What'd you get? 14
and 1/6.
Yeah.
14 and 1/6. Okay, you got 14 and 1/6? 14, okay. Let's read the question carefully. Ready? Hannah is in charge of buying carnations to give away at a school dance. The flower shop sells carnations at a discount in groups of 12. You buy them in groups of 12. She needs 170 carnations. How many groups of 12 should she buy? So you did the math, and those of you that came up with 14 and 1/6, I can't really technically give you that's correct because you're buying them in groups of 12. So Isaac, Bella, whoever else had Isaac had 15. Whoever had 14 and a fraction, the correct answer has to be 15. Does that make sense?
Yep.
The correct answer has to be 15. What did you do? You divided the 170 by 12. True? All right. And now we move on. Homework for today was, let's see, talking about perimeter, area, through 31. 7 through 31 on pages 36 and 37. Quickly, you got to listen fast. Are you ready? If you miss something, David McPeak, what should you do? If I go through these answers and you miss one, what should you do? Put a line through it. When we get done, after we are done today, and you go back over it, here's the thing, students. That's what you're supposed to do, right? When you miss something, you look at it again. You do it again. You go, oh, now I see how they got that answer. If you go over it again and you just can't understand how they got that answer, then that's why I'm here. Do you understand that? But if you look at it and go, oh, I did something really silly there. Got it. Now, if you didn't do your homework at all, that's another story. Nobody's in that boat, right? Two, you weren't here. I'm talking about if you were here. All right, ready? Number 7. Your answers are the perimeter is 22 and the area is 24. Number 8. The perimeter is 34 and the area is 60. Remember that when you wrote your perimeter, it should always just be a linear unit, and when you write your area, it's got to be squared. Again, I can't answer questions as we go. We'll never get done. If you missed it, mark it. David, did you just hear? Is this going to be something different? Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't know we were supposed to also do the area.
Oh.
So I didn't
Number 9. Your perimeter is 40 and your area is 100. If you missed it, mark it. Number 10. Your perimeter is 52. Your area is 153. Number 11. Your perimeter is 72. Your area is 324. Reminder, perimeter is just a linear label unit. Area has to be squared. Number 12. Your perimeter is 26. Your area is 22. Number 13. Your perimeter is 54. Your area is 182. Number 14. 6 yards. That one was on the board on Friday. If there's 36 squares inside your square, that means each side of your square was 6. Does that make sense? Because 36 is a perfect square. Therefore, you find the square root. 6. Number 15. 6 meters. Now they're talking perimeter. So if it's 24 inches or 24 meters all the way around, it's 24 divided by 4, because there's 4 sides to a square. That's how we got 6. Number 16, you were supposed to do this mentally. 11 inches. If the area is 88 and one side's 8, how do you find the other side? 88 divided by 8. It's 8 times 11. Number 17, you were to find rate. We put this one on the board also Friday. If D equals RT, this is worth repeating. If D equals RT, then R, especially if you weren't here Friday, pay attention, then R equals D divided by T. I'm going to stand here, you're going to look at it, I'm going to wait about 10 seconds, and then if you still don't understand it, I need you to raise your hand, and I'll try to say it a different way. You need to understand that, because this is the basics of algebra. Remember that word? Algebraic axioms, the truths about algebra. If they do something to a variable, like if they add to a variable, t plus 3, you have to subtract 3 and do the same thing to both sides of an equal sign in order for it to be equal. Is there anybody that needs this explained again? Be honest. The only stupid question is the one that wasn't asked. Thank you, Noah. Do you understand this?
Kind of.
Okay, here's what happens. Here's how we got from D equals RT to R equals D over T. Ready? If I was to write it out, what did they do to R? What does it mean when it's written right next to it?
Multiply.
How do you, why am I shy about doing the Carrie Underwood now that you're in junior high? How do you undo the T? You want to get R by itself, Noah. How do you undo, how do you get rid of that T? What's the opposite of multiplication?
Divide.
Okay, what do you divide by?
T.
T. That's how, because look, isn't T over T 1?
Yeah.
Isn't R times 1 R, just R?
Yeah.
Everybody got that? So that's how we're arriving at this, turning into that. You divide both sides by T. You have to do it to both sides because Micah says, whoa, wait, time out. If you don't do it to both sides, Micah's going to be like, wait, I thought you said these two things were equal. You can't say they're equal and then treat them unequally and still say they're equal. That doesn't make any sense, does it, Isaac? Dominic? You can't say that these two things are equal and then treat them unequally and still say they're equal. But if you say they're equal and then you treat them equally, then they're still equal. That's a lot of equals. So R equals, if I divided this side by T, I divide that side by T. So we use this formula, the formula for speed or distance, and we can manipulate it to find R, or we could have done the same to find T. Yes?
So I kind of understand it, but my mom did it a little bit differently.
How's that?
On how like she did D equals RT, and then under that she did 36 equals R4. So like she wrote the numbers instead of that, and then she wrote like those
Right.
fractions before under them.
Yeah, same thing. I just haven't put the numbers in yet. She put the numbers in at the beginning.
It's the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you have 36 over 4 here?
Yes.
Yeah. We just haven't plugged the numbers in yet. So we're looking for rate, right? And what'd they give us for distance? What'd they give us for distance?
36.
And what'd they give us for time?
4.
So what's our rate? 9, listen, 9 miles per hour. Right? All right. That was number 17, or kilometers per hour. Number 18, 5 miles. That was just using the standard R times T. Number 19, 10.5 miles. Again, it was just multiplying the rate times the time. Number 20. This made it more complicated again. This, Tina. Now if I want to know what T is, I divide both sides by Jaden? If I want to know what T is, I want to get that by itself. Here, let me write it on this side. If I wanted to get T by itself, what would I divide this side by? R, because R over R is 1. And I have to do it the same thing to both sides. So T equals distance, 40, divided by R, 5. So your answer, Casey? T equals distance, which in this case was 40. And the rate was 5. Oops. So Casey says that T equals 8. And what's your label here? What's your unit? Seconds. 8 seconds. I'm not real comfortable that we're all getting this. And we have to get this because this, again, this is the basics of what solving equations in algebra is. It comes down to 2. Once you get it, you're going to go, oh, it's just 2 simple things. Whatever they do to the variable you want to know, you do the opposite to that. And just make sure you do it to both sides. Because it's an equal sign. You got to treat them equally. You undo what they've done. They multiplied R by T. You undo it by dividing. Just do it to both sides. Can I move on? Are you just saying that because you want time to get your homework done?
No.
You get it? Okay. Number 21. We're in Arizona. And the speed limit increases, or in Arizona, is 75 miles per hour. If you travel at that rate for 3 hours, how far did you go, Lorelei? 225. It was simply 75 times 3. The distance was 75 times 3. Make sense? Number 22. We talked on Friday how number 22 was really saying the same thing. It was giving you the same kind of problems except they put it in table form. Your length is 60. Your width is 22. What's your area? How do you find area? Length times width. What'd you get? Dina.
I got 1,320.
1,320. Say amen if you got that.
Amen.
You can do 60 times 22. How about perimeter? 60 plus 22 is 82. Times 2 is? Brett. We're on number 22. Pool A, it's perimeter. Pool A, it's perimeter. 164 feet. Now go to Pool B. Now they're giving us the area and the width. Again, let's do some algebra. Area equals length times width. You with me? How do I find then the length if they give me the area and the width? How do I get rid of the 30? How do I find out what the length equals? I do the opposite of what they did. They multiplied by 30. So I'm going to, Elise, divide by 30. And I'm going to do the same thing to both sides. Right, Lauren? And my answer? 60. And what's the label? Feet?
Yes.
60 feet is the length of Pool B and the perimeter of Pool B. Now that you know that the length is 60 and the width was 30, Number perimeter, this is the one I like. 60 plus 30 is 90 times 2, Micah? 180. Moving on. Any questions? Go faster, Mr. Franklin. We don't have too much homework. Number 23. The train is traveling at 90 miles per hour. Rounded to the nearest mile per hour. If you missed it, mark it. Number 24, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. If you missed it, mark it, 68 Fahrenheit. Number 25, about 4 hours. 25, all you have to do is estimate. About 4 hours. Number 26, the book messed this up. Guess what the book has? The book has C equals 100 meters. Now, it's M equals 100 cms. M equals 100 centimeters. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. You should have written for 26. M equals 100 cms. Number 27, 1,560 feet. Ethan says, yes, I got 1,560 feet. Number 28, 190 feet. Why? Because you're just putting a fence around your yard. You need to know its perimeter. 190 feet. Number 29. Now, you're not just putting, who's going to put fertilizer just around the border of their yard? Nobody. You have to cover the whole area, right, Jaden? So you need how many bags? 2. We did that one actually Friday also. Because you almost had enough for just 1 bag, but you needed a little more. So you can't go to the hardware store and say, hey, can I scoop out a little bit of fertilizer from that bag? No, you got to buy the whole next bag. But it'll save you next year. Then you only have to buy 1. Number 30, a challenge. You need to find the perimeter of that figure, and it's not a rectangle. So they threw you a little curveball. Who thinks they got the perimeter of number 30? Because they've given you 4 of the sides. But there's 2 other sides they didn't give you lengths for. Perimeter is you have to add up every side of your polygon, and they've got 2 missing. How could you possibly figure it out? What'd you get, Case?
41.
Close but no cigar. We got a 41 and a 48.
44.
And a 44. Who give me? All right, we got 4 different answers. I will tell you that one of them is correct. All right, if you add up all the sides, stay with me here. Everybody get your eyes in your book. LP, put your eyes in your book there. Look at the very top where it says 6 inches. Z, see that little side to the right of 6 inches? You looking at it? At the top? Zacchaeus? How long is that little side that comes down off the top? It doesn't give us a measurement, or does it? How long is the right side of the whole figure? 9 inches. How long is the left side of the whole figure? 12 inches. So how much higher do you have to go from the 9 to get to 12? 3. So you could, you're not supposed to write in your book, don't do it. You could pencil in a 3 next to there. Don't pencil it in the book. But everybody understand that that's 3? What's the other missing side? The other missing side is the top right. How long is the bottom of the whole figure? 12. How far have they gone across the top so far? 6. So what's left? 6. So now we got all the sides filled in. 12 plus 6 plus 3 plus 6 plus 9. The answer is 48 inches. 48 inches. Okay, now it gets harder. A little harder now. How do we find the area of this figure? I'll do my best artwork. It's not going to be very good, but oh well. Okay, we know that this is 12. That's not even close. Okay, this is 6. We filled in these now, it's 3 and 6. This is 9, and this is 12. Okay. How do I find the area of the whole thing? The only thing I know about area now is a rectangle, length times width. What strategy did you come up with, Mitch?
You have to take out one and make it a rectangle, the one on the right.
Watch this. This is what Mitchell did. Is that what you did? He turned it into 2 rectangles. Raise your hand if you get this. Raise your hand if you did this. In order to find out the area, Dominic, of the whole thing, I know it's Monday morning, but you got to keep your head up. In order to find the area of the whole thing, you had to go with what you know. You know area of rectangles. So you had to split it into 2 rectangles. This is a 12 by 6. What's the area of this? Don't all say it at once. 12 by 6. This rectangle is a 6 by, what's the area of this one? What's the area of the whole thing combined? 126, what's your units? Square inches. Yes, Noel?
I just cut, like, imaginarily cut off that top hub. And then
Okay. Noel's strategy was, pay attention, Noel's strategy was, she did 12 by 12, right? And subtracted this part. Do you see what she did? She looked at it as if it was like this. And this would be a 12 by 12 perfect square. So she said, that would be 144. And then she subtracted the 6 by 3, 18. Guess what she got? 126. Either one would work. Yes, Bella. Either one would work. Hopefully Capri's waiting on you. Everybody got that? Dina.
Well, I subtracted the top square. Like, I didn't subtract it, but I put the line through the top square.
Here?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, there's another way. Dina did this. She knew that this was a 9 by 12. Or no, this was 9 by 12. And then she had a 6 by 3. Yeah. 108 plus 18, 126. 3 different ways to figure out that area of both. And finally, number 31. The perimeter is 48 centimeters. Same answer for both perimeters. And the area is 84 centimeters squared. 48 and 84 using similar strategies. If you don't understand how we got those, you have to see me later, figure that out. I was going to do number 32 with you. Maybe we'll save that for tomorrow. The critical thinking question. We got to move on to today and at least get you, hey, Z, head up. Listen, there's no excuse. It's Monday morning, so we're just going to, attitude is a choice. Who thinks I woke up tired this morning? Raise your hand if you think I woke up tired. Okay, so when I come to school, I can have, oh, it's Monday, I'm so tired, attitude. Or I can say, no, I'm not. Now you might think, well, you have to, you're the teacher. No, I don't have to. It's a choice. All right. Problem-solving plans. Noah, this is the last thing we're going to learn before your first big pre-algebra test. Had a quiz last week, got a test coming up. Here we go. You're at a triathlon. You guys know what a triathlon is? You got to run, you got to bike, you got to swim. You and a friend decide to compete. You both swim 200 meters, you bike 10 kilometers, and then you run for 2 kilometers. Here is your results. You and your friend. The table shows your speeds for swimming and biking. Who has the better total time after these 2 stages? How are you going to find that out? Come on, it's not that difficult. How are you going to find out who has the better time after the first 2 stages of your triathlon? Cameron. Well, what do you got to do first? What's that? We only know 2 so far, right? Down at the bottom, go to the bottom, make a plan. Find each of your swimming and biking times. Find each of your total times, then subtract, Cameron. So you got to find each of the total times before you compare. And when you compare, then you subtract. Everybody got that? Did they give us the answer? Did they ever even give the answer to that?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they do on the other page.
Oh, yeah. In,
Example.
example 2. All right, your turn now. Which formula would you use to find swimming and running times? What would you use to find your swimming, what's the matter? Swimming and running times. Would you use distance equals rate times time? Time equals distance divided by rate. See here? They're going through these. Which one of these would you use to find swimming and running times? If you're awake and thinking, this is not a hard question. Which one of those bottom 3, I'm on the bottom page 38, would you use to find swimming and running times? David. T equals D divided by R, because you're trying to find the time, and they give you the distance and the rate. Okay, let's see how they solved that triathlon problem in example 2. Use the formula time equals distance divided by rate. So they said, okay, it took me 2.6 minutes because my distance was 200 meters and my rate was 76 meters per minute. See what they did? So first, Cam, I'd have to find out the total of the 2 times together, and then I would subtract. Does everybody understand what they did there? They needed to use this formula because the idea was they were comparing times. Everybody got it? Moving on. Turn the page. Unit analysis. Real quick, reminder of equivalent fractions. Look for a different color. Equivalent fractions. If you want to give things in their per unit evaluation, what would, let's say 16 over 4, what would that equal over 1? It's pretty simple. 16 over 4 equals something over 1. What would go up top, Dominic? 4. So what are we saying here by showing you this quick example? If you come up with 2 numbers and you can make a ratio out of 16 over 4, a fraction, when they want to know what the unit price is, or how many that is per unit, that means per 1. So 16 over 4, you would say, oh, that's 4 to 1. Does that make sense? Okay? It cost $16 for, let's see, what would we buy that was $16 for 4? It cost $16 for 4 pairs of socks, David. How much is each pair of socks? $4. If it's 16 per 4, it's how many per 1? 4. So this is called making it, instead of how many out of 4, when they say a unit analysis or how many per unit, think of it like this. How many is it for each 1? Everybody with me? Okay. I don't think you are. I think you're still sleeping. All right, let's go on the bus. In parts of New York City, the blocks between avenues are called long blocks. There are 4 long blocks per mile. Blocks between streets are called short blocks. there are 20 short blocks per mile. You walk 40 short blocks and 6 long blocks. How far do you walk? How are you going to figure that out? Come on, wake up. I'm stopping talking. I'm waiting for someone out there to say, I'm engaging my mind now. I'm not just battling to stay awake. I am going to tell Mr. Franken how I would find out this answer. Here's the deal. There are so many long blocks per mile, and there are so many short blocks per mile. Then they tell you that you walked 40 short and 6 long. You should be able to figure out how many miles you walked. Sid? 3.5 miles. That's the answer they got. Let's see how they got it. Ready? Because there's 20 short blocks in 1 mile, 1 mile over 20. Again, we're boiling things down to how many per 1. 1 mile is 20 short. You see what they did? Next. Multiply the number of blocks you walk by, you walked 40 short blocks. Ready? So 40 short, you're going to multiply those two. Because 1 mile is 40 short blocks. And you'd go 1, 2, 2 miles. Does that make sense? 1 mile is 20 short blocks. You went 40 short blocks. So you're going to multiply 40 times 1 over 20. Because these cancel. That becomes a 1, that becomes a 2. And in the other case, the long blocks, there are 6 long blocks in a mile. Is that right? No. 4 long blocks in a mile. So 1 mile equals 40 or 20 short. 1 mile equals 6 long. How many long blocks did you walk? David? 6? Are you sure? One mile equals 4 long blocks. About 6 there. And you walk 6. What's 6 over 1 times 1 over 4? You walk 6 of these guys. So if we cancel these out, 2, 3, 3 over 2. That's how they got 3.5, because you got 2, and what's 3 over 2? 1.5. 2 plus 1.5 is 3.5. Man, now it's not as easy as it was in the beginning of the class, but you need to ask questions if you don't understand. I'm just going to give you one thing to work on for tonight to see if you understood it, and that is number 5 on page 41. That's all you got to do. Number 5 on page 41, and we'll discuss it tomorrow when you're awake. Listen, if we went over all that homework, Dina, if there's something in that homework that you don't understand and you don't ask, what can I do for you, right? Remember the big thing I put on the board in 5th grade where you were at the halfway point? 50% me, 50% you. Guess what? Now it's more than 50% you. As you grow, more of the burden goes on you, less on the teacher. There's a reason for that. That's part of your growth and development to start to become independent and responsible. I can't do it for you. I probably did too much for you in 5th grade. I got to try to avoid doing too much for you, especially now. You've got to start taking responsibility and control of it. If you missed them and you don't understand how you missed them and you don't ask, what can I do? I'm assuming you know how to do it. You got 2 minutes. What do you mean? You just don't even want to read the paragraph. You just don't even want to read it.
Having a Saturday game messed me up so much because I thought it was Saturday yesterday. I was totally on